time to set the field for the Carfax 400 here at the Michigan International Speedway for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series teams. Warm summer day here in the Irish Hills of Michigan, and we're going to find out who is the quickest of them all here on this super speedway. Hi, everybody. Steve Burns, Larry McReynolds, and Jeff Hammond back with you. Now,
still here.
We have not left. We did have a snack, however. Now, 82 races here. 64 of them have been won from a top 10 starting position. But I think, Larry, one other little nugget that we like, 13 times in the last 13 August races, a different driver has won, which kind of leads me to think this place isn't as easy as it looks.
Well, there's no question, just like any racetrack, you want to qualify up front. But I think one thing that leads to the fact that if you qualify up front, you seem to have a good finish on race day or actually win the race, is this race is known for not having a lot of caution flags. We've had 3 races go caution-free here. And I think it's also the fact that if you're fast on qualifying day, you still tend to find a place and a way to be fast on race day. But what I saw in practice, the teams that are bringing a lot of momentum into this race, like our points leader Kevin Harvick, like his teammate Jeff Burton, Montoya, the Roush Fenway cars, that seemed to be the guys that were pretty fast in practice earlier today. Maybe it's just coincidental, but that's the guys that's been fast a lot here lately.
Now, as long as I've known you two knuckleheads, you've told me the same thing about racing here at Michigan. You better have a perfect race car.
Yeah, you do, Steve. I mean, because this racetrack is 2 miles in length. I mean, it's big, it's flat, it's wide. You've got to have a good aero package. You got to have a pony underneath that hood to get it done. You got to have a great driver and a great crew. So it's going to take a total package to be able to win this thing. And also, you're going to hear a lot of guys after they get through making their qualifying runs, they're either going to be real happy or real sad, because this racetrack, even though we just ended a practice session about an hour ago, it changes so much here. Luck of the draw is going to have a lot to do with it. Some guys are going to come back in. They're going to say, man, this thing was so loose, I bite wrecked it. So we're going to hear a lot of guys complain even throughout this entire qualifying session, in my opinion, Steve.
And, Steve, one thing I think that leads to a lot of different winners, as we well know, this race can a lot of times be won not by the fastest race car, but the car that has maybe the right strategy at the end of this thing.
Or a bigger fuel cell.
That works too.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh when people say it's a fuel mileage race. I would say, aren't they all?
They all are. Yes, sir.
Exactly. And Steve, I want to bring up one other thing too. Today sits the tone as we watch our buddy Elliott Sadler in a little bit different paint configuration. His 19th car, get ready to take the green. I think you kind of set the trend and set the tone for these guys that are battling for that 12th position, that coveted 12th position. Get a good qualifying effort here today. It gives you a little leg up on your competition.
Well, this is kind of the first, I don't know if I want to say the first normal racetrack that we've been to in a while, but you think about Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a very unique 4-cornered racetrack. We were at Pocono, a triangle, road course racing, so this is kind of the first conventional racetrack we've been to in a while.
Getting back to what we really know.
Elliott doing double duty here this weekend. We just finished up Nationwide Series final practice. He was well up in the top 10, and he'll be one and done at a 38.94, 184, almost 185 miles an hour.
Ryan Newman was scheduled to be the first driver to qualify, but Sadler goes out first. He'll be followed by Marcus Ambrose, Mark Martin, David Reagan, and Sam Hornish.
Yeah, he picks up a little bit right there. And again, we talked about the different paint scheme, but he's got a Race in America, the Henry Ford Museum on the side of the car. I mean, it's a pretty cool thing. I checked it online the other day. They got a lot of really cool old race cars that they've been restored that people can go by and see, all the way down to something like, Jimmy Clark's old Lotus 38 that he raced at one time. And they got a pretty impressive board also. Rick Hendrick and Roger Penske and Jack Roush.
I've heard of those guys.
Yeah, they're pretty impressive little deal right there.
Hey, speaking of your old boss, Jack Roush, happy to announce that he's been released from the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota.
Hope he's watching, which I'm sure if he feels like it, he will be, keeping up with not only what's going on with his organization, but with everybody else as far as what's happening here at Michigan, on Speed.
We cannot wait to see the Cat in the Hat back at the racetrack, and I'm sure that won't be too far down the line.
And Jack, if you're listening, take it easy. Don't rush back until you are well enough to rush back. We know the spirit wants to come back, but don't push the body too much.
Big weekend for Ryan Newman. 14th in points, 83 points out of 12. Had a 12th place finish at Watkins Glen and picked up about 55 points on that 12th position.
Going to be a pretty good lap for Ryan Newman. It's going to send him straight to the top of the charts at a 38.84, and he'll be one and done as well. Ryan is actually the track record holder here. I think that track record will be safe. Set it back in 2005. How about 37.06 over 194 miles an hour average when he set that track record?
"47 drivers expected to qualify here for 43 positions.
And you know, even though Jeff Burton was the fastest in practice, this has the feel of one of those qualifying sessions that I'm not sure who's going to sit on the pole, but you know what? Wendy may be with a guy that was fast for a while in practice.
And Greg Biffle's one of those first cars to go out. I see you keep looking up at the sun. We had a cloud cover a moment ago, so that's not to your advantage with the sun popping out.
No, it's not. It slows up about 2/10 when the sun comes out, and there's no clouds in sight now with the sun. But, you know, we always get an early draw here. I'm just going to put down the best lap I can, hopefully get in the top 15, top 10 maybe. And car's really, really fast. Excited about it. Can't wait for Sunday.
All right, I heard great news is your boss man here at the racetrack today.
I heard he is, but I haven't seen him yet, so hopefully I'll qualify well and go hunt him down.
All right, good luck to Greg Biffle, and hopefully we will see Jack Roush here today.
So much for taking it easy, huh, Hammond?
Look, I told you. You know how that old song is? It's hard to keep a good man down.
I guess.
That cat right there, you got to realize he's walked away from 2 crashed airplanes. I say walked away. He survived 2 crashes.
Yeah.
He didn't walk away from the first one. But he's a tough old bird. I can promise you that.
And Marcos Ambrose looks like he may be the first car to actually slow down from what he ran in practice. In fact, Jeff, he lost a couple of tenths. He's third out of the 3 cars that's qualified.
What did I say a minute ago? You're going to have some guys that are going to be pretty happy, and you're going to have some guys that are going to be very upset because this racetrack's going to throw them a curve. I promise you that.
It's not the racetrack. It's the old sun.
Well, whichever one you want to blame, just don't blame me.
Y'all keep fighting. We're going to go to break.
There he is.
Mark Martin on the racetrack in his GoDaddy Chevrolet. Mark, the 4th driver to qualify. And just before we got back from commercial, Greg Biffle said he was going to hunt Jack Roush down. Jack Roush hunted him down.
Yeah, he's been caught.
Great to see Jack back at the racetrack. Mark, after that 19th place finish at Watkins Glen, and with Clint Boyer, the 33 car, breaking a trailing arm mount, Mark comes in here, 4 races to go, 12th in the points. He's in the chase, and right now he's on point at 38.76.
Looking for his first win of 2010. Bob?
Ryan Newman and I looking at the scoreboard. Mark Martin just nipping you a little bit at the line, but where was your car good and where was it bad during that qualifying run, Ryan?
It was good coming to the green, and then I never got 3 and 4 right. I felt like I had a decent 1 and 2, but just didn't get 3 and 4. But good effort with the Tornado Chevrolet, and just see what we can do in race trim.
A little hot out here today for Ryan Newman and the rest of the guys.
I was just going to say, he just ran 1 lap of qualifying, and you can see how much he's perspiring.
Now, David Reagan was pretty good in practice. He was in the top 5 for much of the hour-and-a-half session.
Now, Steve, you heard what Ryan said. Good in 1 and 2, didn't get through 3 and 4. I was watching the tracker. Mark Martin, that's where he beat Ryan. He got into 3 and was able to make a good solid run off of turn 4 to beat him back to the line. So I think you're going to see that with a lot of guys. And again, there he is, Jack Roush. A little worse for the wear, but again, it's great to see him here.
Wendy will talk to him in just a moment, but meanwhile, we watch David Reagan. He's got some pretty good finishes here. Best finish of 3rd. And that was back in 2008 in this August event.
But yeah, David jumped up in the top 10 about the time the track opened for practice. We had an hour-and-a-half practice earlier, and he stayed in the top 10 that entire session. Yeah, Roush Fenway at Michigan, 20 wins total, 11 in Sprint Cup, 4 in the Nationwide Series, and 5 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
David Reagan, 4th of 5, 39.017, 184.535 miles per hour.
Jeff, he lost about 1/10 and a half from what he ran in practice.
And it looked to me, Larry, like most of it came down in 3 and 4. He kind of hustled it in there. He got out of the throttle. He couldn't get back to the throttle like he needed to. I saw him play with it just a little bit. Just everything off of turn 4. He just could not get back to that throttle.
Well, one reason these guys are only running one lap, one, you put so much tape on the nose, they start to get pretty warm. But by the time you get back to 3 and 4 for the second time, you're actually starting to lose grip in the tires.
Sam Hornish Jr. has started in the top 15 in 3 of his last 4 races. His best start of this season, second at Texas.
Finished 14th at Watkins Glen, pretty uneventful. Qualified 12th there, and then finished 11th at Pocono a couple of weeks ago. So a couple pretty solid runs for Sam. Finished 5th here a year ago.
He led 5 laps here 8 weeks ago.
See him, he's running a little bit of a high line into there, but you see the speed he carried off into that turn 1, 205 miles an hour.
Yeah, it just didn't carry the speed through the corner, though. He bought a little bit back. He's going to run the high line through 3 and 4 as well. He just was out of the throttle so long you could see the tracker moving to the right.
Comes back a little bit, and he is 4th overall of 6 drivers. Mark Martin still the quickest in his Chevrolet.
Picks up a little bit over what he practiced.
So Hornish 4th of 6. Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Michigan is presented by Subway Restaurants. So many $5 footlong subs to choose from. Enjoy amazing value at Subway all day, every day. Brought to you in part by Toyota and by Sprint, the Now Network. Mark Martin the fastest this far. Coming up, Greg Biffle, Kyle Busch, Reed Sorensen, and Jack Roush. Roush Fenway driver Greg Biffle attacking this 2-mile super speedway. Biffle, a 2-time winner here. His best start, 2nd in 15 appearances.
Larry, do you think Jack walking up and talking to Greg just prior to going out will give him a little extra incentive?
I would say so. Of course, Greg took Jack just shortly after that plane crash. The first winning trophy that Jack has had in a while in Sprint Cup by winning the virtue of winning Pocono a couple of weeks ago.
He's got a lap going, I'm telling you that.
Yeah, he looks to be about 1/10 and a half quicker than Mark Martin right now. This definitely is going to be on the pole temporarily. 38.63 for Greg.
Bob Dillner.
Mark Martin, you knew it wasn't going to last on the point here. You said you had a good lap, but you think it should have been considerably faster if it was going to be a pole run.
Well, yeah, it's what an awesome job by the GoDaddy.com, CarQuest, Chevy, the team, and everything that we did. I'm really, really proud of that. We're short on speed, but we gained a bunch, and we're digging hard, and we are going to get it, and we're making some progress. That was an excellent lap, really good through 1 and 2, I thought, and just slid all the way through 3 and 4, and couldn't get as much as I would have liked to have. But just the fact that Biffle didn't beat us, but just by 2 1/100ths is, and that we beat Hercules Newman, is a pretty good job. So, we've got work to do tomorrow. The car's comfortable, and we just keep working on trying to pick up some speed.
Mark Martin, a veteran of the sport, and Wendy Venturini is with one of his former car owners.
Well, Jack Roush is on pit road, and it's so good to have him back at the racetrack. Jack Roush has been doing a ton of interviews, I'm sure, since and signing autographs from what we understand as well. It's nothing like the best therapy. It's so glad to have you back here, Jack. So good to have you back at the racetrack. How are you feeling?
I feel great.
Good.
It's warm and humid out here. So the heat is a little bit of a shock to me, but that's the only thing.
Oh, it's a shock to me, too. Is this the best medicine for you?
It's great medicine. I've been in an air-conditioned room for about 2 weeks.
And I know you're really into your cars qualifying it. How good does it feel to be back at the racetrack for you?
To be back at the racetrack, back with my team, and back with my crew chiefs, and back with my drivers.
All right, you look great, Jack. Good to see you, and I'm sure everybody's been happy to see him walk down pit road for the first time. Steve?
Well, Wendy, just 18 days ago. He crashed on landing at an air show up in Wisconsin, up in Oshkosh, as a matter of fact. So it is, in fact, great to see him back.
See Kyle Busch there in the 18 car right now. He is 4th quickest at a 38.85. We watched all 3 of the Joe Gibbs cars really struggle in practice. I think they were 29th, 30th, and 31st.
He was 31st, so I think he's got to be one of the guys that's going to be kind of pleasantly surprised and pleased with this effort. 4th quickest right now, but a good pickup, Steve, right there. Almost 3.5 tenths over what he practiced at, so that should help them a lot as far as their effort starting on Sunday.
Reed Sorensen in the 83 car. Of course, he's filling in for Brian Vickers. Team Red Bull in the news a lot this week. Casey Kane will be going over there next season prior to his arrival at Hendrick Motorsports 2012.
Yeah, just not a lot of speed with this race car in practice. He was 37th quickest. And of course, this is the team that sat on the pole and won this race a year ago that actually, you have to say, it was the momentum builder that took them on into the chase.
Absolutely. Boris Said drove the 83 car on the road course at Watkins Glen last week. 8th overall for Brian Vickers. Let's go to Bob Dillner.
Down here with Greg Biffle. He had a lot of pressure because about 4 cars before he went out. Here comes his car owner, Jack Roush. A good lap, but is it good enough?
Nah, it'll be probably a top 10 starting spot, but certainly, the big clouds moving in right now. You can feel it cooling down pretty quick. Those guys, there's a lot of great guys between 28th and 33rd or 34th. A lot of fast guys back there. So well, hopefully that'll hold up. That was the best lap I could get. I'll tell you, Jack's got his way of getting the most out of you, and so good to see him right before I pulled on the track. Probably got me another 10th.
All right, Greg Biffle likes his car, but Steve, I tell you what, Greg's right. You can feel it down here. When the sun goes behind the clouds, it cools off considerably.
And that's just more grip in this racetrack.
Big news this week also surrounding the driver of the 98 car, Paul Menard. He will be going to Richard Childress Racing next year. RCR becomes a 4-car team.
And I was told and read, actually, that it's a multi-year agreement. It's not just a 1-year deal for Paul. Paul was pretty good in practice. He was 12th quickest. In fact, Jeff, a lot of the blue Ford ovals were up there in the top 10 to 15 in practice.
Yeah, we definitely saw more than we've seen in recent weeks. And right now, he's got a pretty good lap coming here, guys. I mean, he got off of turn 4 pretty aggressively.
He carried great speed on the exit of turn 4. And right now, that's going to put him 2nd quickest at a 38.72, right at a 10th behind Greg Biffle. Slugger Labby, his crew chief, had just re-signed with Richard Petty Motorsports just before Paul made the announcement that he'll be leaving. So now the question, who will drive this 98 car in 2011?
Teammates getting ready to qualify. We'll be right back. Denny Hamlin suffered his first DNF, a did not finish of the year at Watkins Glen last week. He was 3rd in points following his win here in June. And Larry, to your point, the fates and fortunes of teams in the last 8 weeks have changed. He's now 6th in points.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Joe Gibbs Racing, in particular, the 11 car and the 18 car, there was a very short period of time there, less than 3 months, that they won 7 races. And ever since that Denny won here back in June, where he led 123 of 200 laps, they've been missing something. Now, are they trying things, just preparing for the chase? I guess we won't get that answer until we get into the chase.
Hamlin's best start here, 5th back in 2008. And as we said, he started 7th here 8 weeks ago and won, leading 123 of 200 laps.
I mean, you just look right there. I mean, the 11 car is 9th. Out of 11 cars that's qualified. I mean, he's going to start deep in this field on Sunday.
Unlike his teammate, Larry, he didn't pick up, virtually nothing from what he practiced at. So I don't think they're going to be very happy with that at all.
Wendy.
David Rudeman getting ready to climb in his race car. What do you need to get out of your car this qualifying session?
We need to get a lot out of it. I don't know what the pole speed is right now, but it depends. I mean, this place gets fast when the clouds come out and stuff, and there's some clouds in the area, so hopefully we'll get a cloud that's timed right, and it'll help in our lap a little bit. We unloaded pretty good, went to qualifying trim, and struggled a little bit there, but I think we got a pretty good Airstream machine.
All right, good luck to David Ruderman, sporting the little beard in the summer months lately. Let's head over to Bob Dillner.
Well, Paul Menard's got the unshaven look a little bit and has brought him some pretty good luck here. Big news this week for you for next year, but never given up here. A good qualifying run for you. Tell me about it.
Thank you. We fought the same issue all practice with both the Cup car and the Nationwide car. Just get tight off of turn 4, and guys did a good job. Made a couple of adjustments, and I really messed up 1 and 2, and we had a good 3 and 4. So I was hoping for a little bit better lap. Honestly, we picked up a little bit, but the pole's going to be, I think, a few tenths faster yet. Just real proud of everybody at RPM. They keep building good cars, and we got a lot of racing left to do.
And next year, Paul Menard going over to Richard Childress Racing.
Well, Juan Pablo Montoya up to the middle of 3 and 4 in his 42 car was working on a pole run, but Jeff the car didn't get through the middle, but he got on the exit.
He got it right there at the last part, Larry.
I mean, it was like late exit of turn 4.
Exit.
2 100s he beats Greg Biffle by, Steve.
And Steve, right now, all I can say is ECR power, because he did not have it where he needed to handling-wise, but when he got that thing wide open, he made up a lot of ground coming to the start-finish line.
And let's take that a step further. When you say ECR, Earnhardt Childress engines, talk about the key players over there. Familiar names.
Danny Lawrence, and I mean, all the different ones. Richie Gilmore. They've got such a great group over there that are able to come up with and have been able to perfect these engines as of late. I mean, they've won so many big races this year between Kevin Harvick and Jamie McMurray and now Juan Pablo Montoya. I mean, all these things right now are just, big proof positive that they've got what they need under the hood to get the job done, because saw some really high speeds off that car, too. Over 204 miles an hour, 205 down in 1 and 2. Little bobble right there with Jeff Gordon coming to take the green. Could hurt him on his lap.
5 poles for Jeff Gordon here on the 2-mile Michigan International Speedway. 2 wins to go with that. And he's led 900 laps.
I just want to interject one thing about Juan Pablo Montoya. He's on the pole, but he actually slowed down from where he practiced at. The draw could come back to hurt this car here as far as him having an opportunity to stay up there. Guys who got a later draw, like Jeff Burton, they're going to benefit from it.
Tell you what, guys, look at this tracker on this 24 car. They were searching for speed in practice. He was only 20th quickest. Of course, Jeff and Ingrid, their second child was born on Monday, Leo Benjamin Gordon. So the baby watch is off at Hendrick Motorsports. And Jeff Gordon, 12th out of 13 cars right now.
Remember I talked about somebody being unhappy? He just lost about 0.4 of a second compared to what he practiced at.
And he just looked a little bit off almost everywhere around the racetrack.
So Montoya, the man to beat after 13 racers have qualified here at Michigan International. Some good drivers coming up. Stay with us, including Jamie McMurray. As qualifying continues, we take a look at our Toyota track description at a racetrack, gentlemen, that I would describe as deceptively fast.
Very fast without a lot of banking. You look at that 18 degrees. That's not a lot of banking to hold these cars like Jeff has documented with them going off into turn 1 at over 200 miles an hour.
I'm glad I'm up here and they're down there. I mean, you talk about a racetrack that's sneaky, it will sneak up on you, Steve. It really will. And the only way you can really kind of go at it is you've got to attack the track. I mean, it's just one of those things that you don't want to do, but if you want to be faster, you've got to attack it. Whoa.
A.J. Allmendinger, 5th overall.
Did you see that car jump up off the ground?
It did, yeah. He was down there on the flat kind of, and you can tell they got a pretty aggressive shock package on that 43
I saw both
car.
wheels get jerked up off the ground right there.
Back to the pit grid and Bob Dillner.
I'll tell you, Steve, I've been watching Juan Pablo Montoya describe to all of his team how he drove that lap, and he's using his hands a lot to describe it. How hard was that lap?
It was a good lap. Can always get a little more. You always come back, I think I could have got a little more. Balance wasn't perfect. I think we're going to get beat, but it should, we can start somewhere in the front would be nice.
What was so difficult about it? Because like I said, you're using a lot of hand motions there talking to your team.
Let's leave it at that for now.
He said it was a handful, guys, in 3 and 4.
And did he say it just like that, Bob?
Absolutely not.
Speaking of a handful, let's take a look at what happened to A.J. Allmendinger. He goes to the apron. It usually helps you pick up a little bit of speed. But his car, when he hit that one bump, look at that. I mean, the front end, that's how rough it is down there.
Wow.
And it was almost like it was jerking the front tires up off the ground.
The good news is that was beyond the start-finish line.
when he needed it.
Actually, our tracker supports what Montoya said. He was on the pole till he got down into turn 3 and then lost it. But as Jeff pointed out, picked it all back up when he put that throttle down on the exit of 4.
Jay Fry, the general manager, Red Bull Racing, was quoted this week when asked about Casey Kane going over to that team for next year, what the fate of this driver, Scott Speed, is, and he said it's still under evaluation.
I think the next couple of months will tell a lot about the future of Scott Speed in this Red Bull car. And right now, Scott is 11th out of the 15 cars. He was actually pretty quick for most of the practice.
He slowed
down a couple of tenths.
Slowed down a couple of tenths. And Steve, I'm going to go back and kind of pose a question like this. I read some of the releases. So we know Casey Kane is going over there. We don't know if Brian Vickers is coming back. So I'm going to assume that if Brian gets healthy, he goes back in 83. Now we've got 2 drivers and 1 car at the present time, and I heard some rumors that they said, well, we could always add a 3rd car.
He did
not rule that out.
He did not rule it out. That's exactly right.
So it doesn't mean that all of a sudden that Scott Speed will be the odd man out.
That's absolutely right. Wendy.
Kurt Busch is walking alongside his car. Kurt, you've been watching qualifying. What have you been able to learn so far what your car needs to do?
Just 3 and 4 has been the struggle for most guys, whether they're tight in and loose off. That's where we were in practice. So just can't overdrive that corner, but really got to get the throttle down coming into turn. We'll see if we can't balance it out just right with our Miller Lite Dodge.
All right, good luck in qualifying. I'm sure he wants some cold Miller Lights right about now. It is awfully hot in Michigan today.
You heard what he said, though, guys. Coming to the green, he's got to be able to get that going because, again, this is a momentum racetrack when it comes to qualifying and getting through 3 and 4. Coming to take the green can really make a big difference. I think that's one place that Juan Pablo, really did a good job when he came to take the green.
Jeff, you and Larry talked about setting the tone for the weekend at Michigan and how it starts in practice. David Rudiman, 18th in points, 166 out of 12.
It's going to be a good run for him. He's 5th quickest, but they need something to turn around because they won that race at Chicagoland last month. Since then, 28th at Indy, 17th at Pocono, and 23 at Watkins Glen last week. So they need to get this 00. More than likely, not going to make the chase, but they can still get more wins and get this car back performing better.
Juan Pablo Montoya, the man to beat. When we come back, you'll see David Rudiman's teammate, Mark Truex Jr. and Kevin Harvick. Hey, join us for our Friday night house party / television show, Trackside, 7 Eastern. Our guests are Regan Smith, Jamie McMurray, and 5-time heavyweight champion of the world, the real deal, Evander Holyfield.
Hey, will Michigan Jim be there?
Michigan Jim is always here.
Okay.
I saw him down there earlier. I want to talk to Holyfield about his venture on Dancing with the Stars, see how that worked out for him.
That's right. Hammond, when do you go to Dancing with the Stars?
You won't be around to see it.
Well, nice qualifying effort by Martin Truex. He is 3rd overall in his Michael Waltrip Racing Toyota.
So both those MWR cars looking pretty good right now, 3rd and 6th.
Bob Dillner.
I'll tell you what, this guy would be good on Dancing with the Stars because he's got the pompadour or whatever you want to call that hairdo now.
What are you talking about, man?
What is that? Did that help you or hurt you in your qualifying run?
I'm not really sure because I'm terrible in qualifying here. So I think ultimately I'm just going to, for Sunday, I'm going to keep the faux hawk, but I'm going to tip it green for the Insignia Best Buy green. Be looking good.
Good idea, but Larry McReynolds brought up something in practice today. You're kind of like the lone wolf now at RPM. What, did you scare everybody away after they said you're the lead dog?
I'm not sure what that says about me. I mean, I did sign and everybody else decided to leave. I usually feel like I smell pretty good usually. I have a good cologne on and things like that, so I don't think it's my hygiene. So maybe it's just my personality. I don't know. But no, it's I'm not really. It's kind of funny, but it's all right. We'll keep working on it as we've talked about. There's a lot of excitement that's going to come out of the race team, a lot of news, and mine was just the first of many pieces, hopefully, to get out there. But it's good. So we'll just keep working on it.
The top dog at RPM right now is 7th.
Tell you what, Kevin Harvick was working on trying to be the top dog in qualifying. It's going to be a little short, but still a great run. Third quickest for this 29 car.
Third quickest right there. And he had to play with that throttle on the late exit of 4 to get it back to the start-finish line, but it turned out to be pretty good for Kevin Harvick. Slows down just a teeny bit over what he had practiced at. Now, he was third quickest earlier. Take a look right here. He starts getting up close to the wall, and the car starts getting a little bit free on him, and he had to chase it all the way up there and got very, very, very close. And he was really playing with the throttle right about there.
Wendy.
Clint Boyer watching his teammate Kevin Harvick get a little bit loose there. Well, how do you think this racetrack has changed in watching that?
Well, clouds are coming. That's a good thing. I think it's cooled off a little bit, but just seems like everybody's got a lot of different lines. You know, I've been looking at the track scan and watching everybody, seeing where people are running. You know, it looks like, you know, Kevin ran high there. You know, I think I'm going to try to run the middle and then maybe high down 3 and 4. Just trying to figure out where the best grip is.
All right, thanks to Clint Boyer. One of his many secrets here at qualifying, and one of many drivers to go and shake Jack Roush's hand since he's been on pit road.
I think everybody's glad to see Jack back at the racetrack, no question.
Well, Jamie McMurray, what a season it's been with a win at the Daytona 500, the Brickyard 400. Finished 6th at Watkins Glen. He's actually a very, very accomplished road racer.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be very excited about this qualifying run here. He was 7th quickest. It starts to come back a little bit on the exit of turn 4, but it's just going to barely, if it even ends up in the top 10. Looks like maybe he will going to be outside. He's 11th right now compared to his teammate Montoya that's on the pole.
But to me, Larry, watching him and his line, we already heard what Clint Boyer said about it. To me, he ran one of the lower lines and looked like he tried to, you know, hold it down closer to the inside, which may have kind of, you know, slowed the car down or bounded up a little bit.
19 drivers have qualified, while Pablo Montoya is the quickest. When we come back, we'll see Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, David Gilliland, and more. Back at the Michigan International Speedway, qualifying continues for the Carfax 400. Joey Logano up next at his Home Depot Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing.
You know, one thing we've not talked about today as we move toward 2011, as Joey gets a little bit loose off turn 2, is, of course, a lot of announcements coming over the last few days and last couple of weeks about schedule change. And I know Joey, along with our buddy Darrell Walter, was up at Kentucky Motor Speedway for their announcement that they'll be getting a race next year. Very fitting, since Joey in the Nationwide Series has 3 consecutive wins from 3 consecutive poles up there in the Nationwide Series.
Yeah, July 9th of next year, I believe, is when that Kentucky race will be.
It'll be our last race on TNT. Joey ends up 13th quickest right now. And his teammates, Denny Hamlin, is 17th and Kyle Busch is 10th.
Bob Dillner.
3rd quick so far for Kevin Harvick. A good qualifying run for the Shell car. And I want to ask you, where do you think you missed just a little bit on that lap, Kevin?
Well, I got through 1 and 2 really good, and I got into 3 good. And my main goal was to not overdrive it. I always seem to do that in qualifying, but I just never was able to get back to the throttle all the way off of 4, and that hurt us. So changed my line a little bit, and I think I would have been better off sticking with what I had in practice. But it felt so good coming to the green that I had to try it again.
You never know until you try. Wendy?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. intently watching everybody's qualifying lap. Does that mean you're going to change anything in your qualifying, knowing the sun's going in and out here?
I was just seeing where everybody was running and what lines they were taking through each corner. But it seems like if you can get it to work right, you want to get around the top of 3 and 4, at least the 3rd groove or the 4th groove. That's what they were doing in practice and everything. Seems like it doesn't matter too far around 1 and 2, and the way the wind's blowing, the car's turning in pretty good anyway. So we'll just try to do what we can do. I feel like we're going to qualify better than we did last time, but I don't know how good.
All right, thanks to Dale Jr. And, of course, we're going to wait and see which line he decides to take in qualifying.
It's going to be a pretty good lap for Kurt Busch. He really got through the middle of 3 and 4 good, but he lost it like late exit.
Continues to lose.
Yeah, when you lose it late exit, it carries all the way down the next straightaway. He's going to end up 7th quickest with this brand new car they brought here this weekend.
Want to remind you that tomorrow the treacherous Lady in Black is back, and speed is there as NASCAR's toughest tangle on the track. Too tough to tame. It's the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series return to Darlington. live tomorrow at 7 Eastern and only on Speed. 21 drivers have qualified while Pablo Montoya is quickest. Speed's coverage of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying for Michigan is brought to you by the new movie, The Expendables, starring Jason Statham, Jet Li, and Sylvester Stallone, now playing in theaters everywhere.
Don't forget Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's right. David Gilliland in the 37 car, slowest of 22 drivers, taking time here today.
Yeah, 40.04. He picked up a couple of tenths, but that's well off the pace of even Marcos Ambrose that's right in front of him in 21st, who ran a 39.26.
Tony Raines up next in the 34 car. There was a driver change literally this morning prior to practice. Kevin Conway had been in that car with Extend's sponsorship, and got a press release saying that Conway and Extends are suspending their relationship with Front Row Motorsports.
They've pulled the decals off that car since early this morning.
Yeah, and that happened just right before practice. I saw Kevin in the garage area. He was carrying some uniforms to the hauler. Pretty much the sponsorship went with Kevin. Now, here's the irony of that. Because pretty much Kevin ran 21 races so far, more than likely he's still going to be the 2010 Robestas Rookie of the Year.
Larry, the press release went on to say that they are evaluating options for this year. So we
still a lot of racing to go.
We could see them very well back.
Tony Raines ends up 22nd at a 39.39. That puts him 22nd of the 23 cars that's qualified.
When our producer, Mark Smith, said, please read the card on the Expendables, I was hoping he wasn't talking about us.
You never know.
Like that was a trackside promo or something.
Are you trying to say that we are expendable?
Of course we are.
Now let's watch Clint Boyer in his 33 car. Let's see what line he runs. We interviewed him a while ago, and he was talking about watching other drivers as to what they were doing. He watched his teammate Kevin Harvick. So it looks like he's going to be at least halfway up the racetrack through turn 1 and 2. Maybe down a little bit, about the second or third groove up. Carried great speed, though, off the corner. See what happens down in 3 and 4. Big part of 3 and 4 is finding that fine line between underdriving and overdriving the entrance to turn 3.
Keeping back a little bit, but I think it's coming back the other way. He got out of it early. Now he's starting to get a little bit of benefit from it.
Yeah, it's going to be a great run. He goes to the top at the last minute at a 38.59. Jeff, he played it perfect in 3 and 4.
Just like Montoya, got out of that throttle, waited a second, but when he got back to it, it really made up a lot of ground coming back to start-finish line.
Jeff, you talk about this a lot, about setting the tone, and Clint's trying to rebound from a rough outing at Watkins Glen. He went in there 12th in points, 34 points ahead of 13th. Coming out of there, he is now 13th, 10 behind 12th.
Well, this is the kind of thing that we talk about momentum. You can get up here and get yourself a top 1 or 2 starting position. Not only get a good pick for the pit, but you get into somebody else's mind that's back here kind of chasing you, like a Ryan Newman or Mark Martin. They know that they've got to go catch you now because you're starting in front of them. That's a big plus.
Yeah, and what's sad about that whole situation at Watkins Glen, it was out of their control. They broke a trailing arm mount and actually did a pretty phenomenal job of welding that back on, getting out there 3 laps down, got 2 of those laps back by virtue of the free pass. Bobby Labonte back in the 71 car. Bobby was 39th in that practice earlier.
Larry, it looks like he may have a tire rub right there on that left rear. I hope it's a tire rub, otherwise he's got something going on.
Definitely saw a little bit of haze of smoke off the back of the car.
It looks to me like he's burning a little bit of paint off that left rear quarter panel, so he's got a left rear fender rubbing just a little bit on that.
Bobby swept the races here in 1995, and he got another win here in August of 99.
And he'll be going to JTG Doherty Motorsports next year, replacing Marcus Ambrose.
Not the qualifying run he was looking for. He's 24th out of the 25 cars it's been so far.
Wendy,
Matt Kenseth getting strapped in his race car. You guys were awfully fast the whole Roush Fenway camp in practice session. Can you duplicate it and beat those RCR cars in qualifying?
Well, I hope so. We have to pick it up a little bit. We weren't as fast as some of our teammates, but Jimmy and Chip and everybody's done a good job with this car. It was pretty good in race trim this morning. I just got to figure out how to get one fast lap here for qualifying this afternoon.
Thanks to Matt Kenseth. Let's go back upstairs to the booth.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., his last win was here at Michigan.
What'd you say, 79 races ago?
Yep. You didn't like my 24 months, did you?
That's just confusing. It's too
or
many
26
numbers,
months.
Too many numbers. You're trying to figure 26 months. How many races is that? Hey, the races, I don't care about the months. It could be years.
121 points out of the chase. He is 16th in points.
And this has been a good track for Dale Earnhardt Jr. of late. Not going to be a good qualifying run, though.
No, I don't think he liked that line.
Yeah, that just killed the speed down the back straightaway. He'll try to make a little bit back in 3 and 4. But in the last 10 races, he has earned second in the most points earned here, second only to Carl Edwards.
Dale talked to Wendy about his qualifying effort in June. He was 27th 8 weeks ago.
I'm going to say he's not going to be a whole lot better this time.
Just 23rd overall in his National Guard Chevrolet.
They still cheer for him. It doesn't matter where he qualifies.
But I got news for you. He can say what he wants to. He's lucky probably still have a race car where that thing looked down and 1 and 2. I mean, he really did not want to take a set, and he did a good job of just kind of chasing it up the racetrack.
We'll step aside for a few minutes. Everybody's chasing Clint Boyer now in his Chevrolet. Stay with us here on Speed. Michigan native Brad Keselowski clocks in 15th in his Penske Dodge. And we go to Bob Dillner.
Down here with Clint Boyer, and a very interesting story about the radio conversation between you and Richard Childress after your lap. Why don't you tell me that story?
I pretty much deserved what he told me. I was going down the back straightaway, so this ain't going to be very good on the radio. I just, I got loose right in the middle of 1 and 2, and I wasn't able to go wide open, put the throttle down wide open, and I went down into 3 and got tight. I'm like, I messed both ends up. This is going to be horrible. And I pretty much said that on the radio. So I'm glad it felt horrible because you're on the pole, so I must swallow my words there.
There you go. He'll take it if he's fast, even though the car didn't feel too good.
I think that almost supports what we were talking about earlier as far as practice runs versus qualifying runs. The biggest thing that matters in that qualifying run is what the stopwatch tells you.
What the stopwatch tells you, exactly right.
An interesting note or a nugget, Larry Mack, about Carl Edwards. Only one top 10 start in 12 Michigan races, but he has the best all-time average finish of 6.6.
Yeah, he's completed every single lap of those 12 races. About mid-pack right now with that 99 car. He is 15th at a 38.96.
He slowed down compared to what he had practiced at. Guys were getting a little bit deeper here in the field, and so far 3 out of our top 4 are ECR engine, and we still got Jeff Burton to go, who was the fastest in practice, going out 31st.
As we watch Regan Smith in the 78 cars, he starts his qualifying run, and Regan was actually 8th quickest. Just real quick back to Carl Edwards. He's looking for his 50th win in NASCAR. Now, that's in all the top 3 series, Sprint Cup, Nationwide, and the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. And there's actually only 12 drivers, 6 active drivers, that's been able to accomplish that feat in the modern era, 1972 to present.
Yeah, not bad for a kid from Missouri who was so bad in his first start at Martinsville, they called him Kirby because he kept running into the curb.
And a guy that wasn't that many years ago, he was passing a business card out saying, if you need a driver, I'm your man.
You had to bring up Martinsville because he ran over our truck driven by DW.
That's right.
Went down there in the curb, and he used us and the curb to get around us. I mean, it's like, man.
Carl said the second time he went to Martinsville, they were at driver intros, and Kenny Schrader said, son, if I were you, I'd just go ahead and apologize to everybody here for what's about to happen.
Save some time, yeah.
I'm sorry before the race.
Little Regan Smith ends up 14th quickest in the 78 car at a 38.90.
He'll join us on trackside in just a little while, 7 Eastern.
We can find out what happened because he slowed down.
We're going to talk to him about driving a tractor to school.
Do what?
How about his grooming? Is he going to have any grooming tips? Tony Stewart won here in 2000. It's been a great racetrack for him. 10 top 5 finishes.
Now, Larry, we talked, they ran a lot of laps in practice, made a pretty good pickup when they put the qualifying package up underneath it. But you know, Tony and that 14 crew, they probably had a little bit of magic they're going to throw at this 14 car. And right now, we're starting to see it.
I tell you what, he's got about a 1/10.5 in the bank, losing a little bit, but I think it's going to squeak in there. Boy, he kept losing it. It didn't. Second quickest. He just didn't carry the speed off turn 4.
Larry, 5/1000ths of a second. 186.577 for Boyer, 186.572.
1/1000th of a second.
Yeah, 1/1000th of a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, NASCAR race day built by the Home Depot on Sunday. Denny Hamlin and Watkins Glen winner Juan Pablo Montoya join the team live. That's NASCAR race day built by the Home Depot from Michigan, 10 Eastern, only on Speed.
There's JR working the crowd.
And he has no idea. Yeah, he's working something all right. Oh, boy, he's in trouble. Wendy.
Well, I'm with Patrick Carpentier here on pit road now. You've been watching qualifying go on. It's good to see you in the garage area. What is your goal for this weekend?
Thanks. Just to make it in the race. You know, we struggled a little bit in practice this morning, but the Air National Guard team worked pretty hard on the car. So made a few changes. Was a little bit on the loose side coming out of 4. So hopefully we settle that down and I'm able to put a good lap in qualifying, and we'll be here tomorrow on Sunday.
All right, good luck to you in qualifying. And Patrick says that it's just for this weekend in the 26. He has to wait and see.
Yeah, he was the slowest of the go-or-go-homers. We're looking at Jimmy Johnson in this 48 car. Jimmy was 6th quickest. Had a pretty decent run going down into turn 3.
I think these guys with a late draw, kind of watching the clouds, really starting to get some benefit from maybe a cooler racetrack.
One of just 4 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series tracks where Jimmy Johnson has not won a race. The others being Chicago, Homestead, and Watkins Glen. And how about that? Jimmy Johnson goes to the top.
But what I'm seeing, Jeff, is if you try to get too much in the middle of 3 and 4, you just can't carry it on the exit. Jimmy Johnson was about 2.5 tenths to the good in the middle of 3 and 4, ended up only getting the pole by a tenth, lost a lot late exit. But a great lap for this 48 car.
38-48, 187.086 miles per hour.
Just remember, this team's still looking for their first pole in 2010. Their last pole for the 48 car was at Homestead Miami Speedway last November.
Matt Kenseth, the 2-time winner here at MIS, 10th in points, 175 to the good of 13th.
The thing about Jimmy Johnson, he's still got to fend off Matt Kenseth, Jeff Burton, Casey Kane, just to name a few, along with guys like Bill Elliott and Joe Nemechek going out late, along with Robbie Gordon. So you never know what's going to happen here with this late draw for a lot of these teams.
Matt was 18th quickest in practice. He has 22 starts here. It's not been great on qualifying day for him. Only 2 top 10 starts out of those 22.
Best start of 3rd back in 2006.
A pretty good lap going about halfway down the back straightaway. Let's see what happens down in 3 and 4, because that's either been the make or break of these qualifying laps.
Tried to pick it wide open, but he couldn't quite get there. He's still not. Now he's finally back wide open. Larry, let's see what it does back to the start-finish line.
Tell you what, it's going to be a great lap. He was able to carry that speed that he got in the middle of 3 and 4 right now. Matt is 6th quickest in his 17 car, right behind his teammate Greg Biffle.
6th of 32 drivers who have qualified. Just 3 drivers remaining of those who are locked in by virtue of the top 35 and owner points. Let's go to Bob Dillner.
Tony Stewart putting on the Office Depot hat here in a very good qualifying run. He's been qualifying pretty darn well lately. Pocono on the pole, and how was that out there?
It was a good lap. I was happy with it. It wasn't quite as good as the 2 guys in front of me now, but it was a good lap. I was real happy with it. Real happy with our power. I know everybody at Hendrick Engines have been working real hard to get us caught up here, and today's I think with Jimmy's running our run, that's proof that they're making some ground. So really appreciative of those guys and everybody at Stewart Haas Racing. They're doing an awesome job.
Tony Stewart all smiles here in qualifying.
But I think we'll see what this track's got in it now, because Jeff Burton in his 31 car, he was the fastest, and Jeff, his lap was a 38.479. Jimmy Johnson right now at a 38.485.
We know he's ran that fast, but whether or not he can back it up, and right now he is not getting through the middle of 1 and 2 like he wanted to. He gave up a lot of speed through that part of the racetrack.
Car looked like it just wasn't down in the racetrack from the middle of 1 and 2, late exit of turn 2.
Definitely up on top of it. Now 3 and 4 again, losing a lot of speed here. He won't sit on the pole here today.
Wiggle off turn 4.
No, he's going to be lucky just to be in the top 15 right now. Looks like he's going to end up 10th quickest at a 38.76, so about 3/10 off what he ran in practice earlier today, and actually a pretty decent draw because we've got a lot of clouds in here right now.
Well, he's the first one of our previous 3 guys that did not pick up, so I got to believe that car itself never did hook up.
2 more drivers remaining, and then it's knockout qualifying when you have to go or go home. Casey Kane won from the pole here back in 2006. Just announced this week he'll be with Team Red Bull next season as he spends 1 year there before going to Hendrick Motorsports.
So by the time he gets to that Chevrolet in 2012, he pretty much will bat the cycle, and right now it looks like he's batting for the pole with this 9 car. He is 38.465 for this 9 car, because last year he pretty much drove a Dodge. He's in a Ford this year. He'll be in a Toyota next year. In 2012 he'll be in a Chevrolet,
and it looks like Budweiser is going to be with Kevin Harvick.
Yep.
Let's go to Bob Dillner.
Jimmy Johnson and I have been standing here just asking, is there anybody left that can threaten me? He hasn't won a pole in a while, and look what happens.
It's my new teammate, right? They're coming soon. I mean, gosh, it's not very friendly of them, but very proud of the effort we made today. Certainly would have liked to win the pole. It's been since Homestead last year since we had won a pole. Been close a few times, but today we were a little bit off in practice and just in one section of the racetrack, and we improved it and made it better, and kind of met our goals today for the most part. I mean, winning the pole would have been everything for us, but we'll come back, race, practice tomorrow, and work on that stuff, and then go into the event from there. But this Losman Paul has been driving great. I want to win here. I want to win good here. This is a fun racetrack. I want to win here for Chevrolet, and for this race team's been working so hard.
Go Raz, your future teammate.
I know. I might throw my Gatorade at him when he comes by here in a minute.
Well, Bob, P.J. Jones is in the 7 car. His car is locked into the show, so Robbie Gordon is going to drive the 07, try to get that car in the show as well.
And Robbie will have to qualify it on time when he goes to qualify that 07 car. We'll have 4 cars that will not make this show.
PJ has 3 starts this year. And 3 starts here at Michigan with a best finish of 25th.
He's 34th out of our top 35 guys that's qualified so far, but he will race on Sunday.
So that's it for the drivers who are locked in. When we come back, you'll see Casey Mears, J.J. Yaley, and Bill Elliott. And can anybody beat that guy, Casey Kane? We'll find out. Back at Michigan, International knockout qualifying has started. Casey Mears in the 36 car, slowest of all but 1 car, and J.J. Yaley there in the 46 is 32nd overall.
Yeah, not a bad lap right there by J.J. Picks up just a little bit over what he had practiced at. But for Casey Mears, something had to go wrong in that car because he gave up almost a second over what he had practiced at earlier today.
Well, guys, you guys were front row for this, but in the 1980s, Bill Elliott owned this racetrack.
I have chased him around this racetrack on many times. But we beat him one time, believe it or not. In '85, we were able to beat him. It was one of the first times I've ever been experienced in a no caution flag race, and we were able to make 1 less pit stop. And he was coming after us in a hurry, but DW and I, we beat him back to the start-finish line, and that was all she wrote.
From 1984 through 1986, Bill won 5 of 6 races here.
And you just think that the fact that the Wood brothers, they have 11 wins here, so between the 2 of them, that's 18 wins. And I think Bill will shut her down. You know, he's locked in because he's the only past champion outside the top 35, but there's no question 39.03. He won't have to worry about using that.
That's a good solid lap right there.
Bill will make his 61st Michigan start on Sunday.
That's a lot of starts.
61st.
That's a lot of starts. We've only had 82 races here.
Yeah, this place opened in 1969. Cale Yarborough won the very first race. And Bill made his first start here in 1976. Just for the record, he started 21st and finished 28th.
But, you know, to support a little bit about what Jeff was talking about is now we're going to watch Scott Riggs, who's in this 66 car, start his qualifying attempt. We've had 3 races here was caution-free. We've had 3 races with only 1 caution, 8 races with only 2, and 10 races with only 3 cautions. So you know that you might not get a lot of opportunities to adjust on your race car by virtue of making pit stops under caution.
Yeah, you talked about that as far as, you know, how it can affect the outcome of this race. And a lot of guys, if they don't have the right setup when they drop the green flag on Sunday, you don't get a lot of opportunities to get it right.
Talked to Scott Riggs on the airplane yesterday on the way out here, and said he had some opportunities, he thought, working for next year, and would love to see him back in whatever series, because he's got a great personality and he's a good little driver.
He's got 176 career start in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Started back in 2004. Has 10 starts here. Actually finished 2nd in this race back in 2005.
Led 13 laps that day.
Yeah, this team missed the race at Watkins Glen with Dave Blaney. They've actually missed a few races here of late. And I don't have a great feeling about what I'm seeing on this first lap with Scott. He's probably going to have to go ahead and run that second lap at a 39.78. Feel pretty good about J.J. Yaley's 39.33, but I think if you're slower than about a 39.50 or 60, you might have to sweat bullets for a little bit. It's just so hard to run faster on the second lap here. The engine's getting hotter and hotter. And once you get above about 240 to 250, the power actually starts to go away. But the biggest thing is just the grip of the tires. I think that's what we've been seeing on our guys that only ran 1 lap earlier in the session. By the time you get back to 3 and 4 on the first lap, she's starting to slide around. So Scott's 36th at a 39.78. He's 3rd of the 4 go-or-go homers that's qualified.
And we said Bill Elliott was the quickest, 26th overall, but he's in by virtue of his championship provisional status. When we come back, we'll see Nemechek, Castle, Pappas, Carpentier, and Michael McDowell. Stay with us. Joe Nemechek's lap was scary, but in this case, scary is fast. Nemechek 20th overall at a 38.94.
I think the right rear quarter panel shows you just how scary it was. He used every bit of the racetrack and just a little bit of the outside concrete wall. This was late exit of turn 4, but Joe knows you go or you go home, and you can see him just kiss that wall, but he never rolled out of the throttle, Jeff.
No, he never did, and again, he did a really good job of kissing it so lightly and politely to get him a 20th place qualifying position and pretty much lock himself into the field.
Casey Kane, the provisional pole sitter, while Landon Castle, a young driver out of Iowa in the 09 car, is next out.
And he qualified for this race in this race car back in June a couple of months ago.
He's made 2 starts in the 09 car this year and 2 starts in the 71.
And boys, right now, I know he's got 3 and 4 to go, but he's got a pretty good lap going in this 09 car.
Very good lap, Larry. He is going to lock himself in with ease as he comes off of turn 4. He makes it look easy.
Yeah, he's going to be by far the fastest go or go home guy. Landon's going to end up 15th quickest, so he will race on Sunday.
So he's locked in, and it appears that Joe Nemechek has a spot.
It's a great run for this young man.
Our remaining drivers are Max Pappas, Patrick Carpentier, Michael McDowell, Robbie Gordon, Mike Bliss, and Travis Quapple.
You know, it's good to see Landon back at the racetrack, and especially having some decent runs like this qualifying run. He was a developmental driver for Hendrick Motorsports, and he looks pretty happy right there, I think. just his gestures that we saw as he let the window net down.
Well, Sprint brings you an inside look at what's happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed. Points leader Kevin Harvick's car in the garage.
Get that thing ready for a couple of practice sessions tomorrow. Get a race ready for Sunday.
Some news surrounding Max Papis as well. Busy week, busy news week.
You know, it's kind of amazing. You know, it seems like all of a sudden the dam has broke open over a lot of things that were kind of like, you know, wait and see. Now it's starting to happen. Max Papis, understanding he will be out of this 13 car come Atlanta.
Casey Mears will be in it.
Casey Mears will go in the 13 car, and I guess for the remainder of the season, or at least for one race, and we'll see where it goes from there. But possibility Max will go truck racing here at the end of the year. But a good lap right here by Max Papis, 21st quickest, locks himself into the field.
Tell you what, these speeds, I think the track is getting cooler and cooler, gaining more and more grip even as we're into these go or go homers, because these last couple of 3 drivers that's been out, they have laid a lap down.
Well, you know, we did see a little sun in turns 3 and 4, and that is now gone for the most part. Stay with us. Casey Kane still the guy to beat. We're in Michigan. Patrick Carpentier turns 39 years old today. Let's see if he can give himself and his team a gift and get into the show for the Carfax 400.
Well, he'll have some work to do from practice, but right now, looking actually pretty good on our tracker. He was the slowest of the go-or-go homers in practice. Patrick doesn't quite lock in.
Oh, that's a good lap.
But that's a good lap. I think if you
lap.
run down in the 38-second bracket, you're going to be close enough that you will eventually lock in. That should lock Joe Nemechek into the show, though.
That's a clutch lap right there by Carpentier.
It does, Larry. The 87 is locked in.
Right now, the cars that are not locked in would be Patrick Carpentier. He would be the next car to go in, as well as J.J. Yaley, Scott Riggs, and Casey Mears.
Michael McDowell out next in the number 55 car. Did not qualify. This car did not qualify for the June race here.
You know, you and I both were kind of like looking at J.J. Yaley's lap thinking that was going to be pretty good, but right now it's still a little iffy.
Well, it is. You know, Steve mentioned the sun has went in and the grip has went up, I think, on this racetrack all the way around it. Michael was 10th quickest of our go or go home cars earlier.
I'm worried for Casey Kane. Jimmy Hicks just put up some notes about Casey Kane. When Russell does that,
it's pretty much been the kiss of death.
It's like the SI cover jinx.
I think Casey Kane's little old lap's probably pretty safe right now. I think all these next few cars are worried about is just trying to lay a lap down.
Hang on.
That's not going to do it right there.
That car was nervous all the way through the entrance of 3 and 4, and he just kept getting worse the further he went. Now he's got to play 2, and I'm not too sure it's going to get any better.
Yeah, he beats J.J. Yaley as well as Scott Riggs. And that lap will send Casey Mears in the 36 car to the house.
Well, he is flirting with that wall right there off of turn 2. He was close.
Yeah, it only goes downhill more from here. I mean, he's doing what he's got to do, but it's not going to run faster.
He tried to do it again.
Well, he is on the ragged edge.
But this will let Patrick Carpentier in that 26 car. He will race on Sunday. Puts Michael McDowell in the 55 car we're looking at right on the bubble.
So Casey Mears is officially out of the show, unfortunately, in the 36. Castle's in, Papis is in, Nemechek, Carpentier, and Bill Elliott.
You're carrying so much speed on the exit of turn 4, and you know you have to stay in the throttle. This is exactly what's going on with Michael McDowell. You could see the car in that 4-wheel drift and then just got loose, late exit right up against the wall.
Stay with us when we come back. Final 3 drivers to qualify: Robbie Gordon, Mike Bliss, and Travis Kvapil. Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying for Michigan is presented by Subway Restaurants. So many $5 foot-long subs to choose from. Enjoy amazing value at Subway all day, every day. Brought to you in part by Mahindra. Visit your local dealer to test drive a Mahindra tractor today. And by Sprint, the Now Network. Well, folks, we're down to it. Last handful of drivers to qualify. Robbie Gordon in the 07. P.J. Jones qualified his 7 car, which was locked into the show. So Robbie trying to get both of his cars in.
Now, Robbie definitely is going to have to run faster than P.J. Jones ran. Right now, P.J. is 42nd at a 39.87. The little green line on our tracker, that represents Michael McDowell. So as long as Robbie Gordon can stay to the left of that green stripe, which right now he's flirting with it, he's going to be okay. He should race on Sunday, so he'll get both his cars in the show. And he is locked in at a 39.18. Evidently, they told him that as soon as he crossed the stripe because he shut her down.
That's all he needed.
But that will send Scott Riggs in the 66 car to the house.
So Scott Riggs, Casey Mears will not race.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, you said it a while ago. When J.J. Yaley ran a 39.33, I felt pretty good about it, but I think the track has just cooled down so much over the last just 10 or 15 minutes.
Mike Bliss driving the 32 car this week, Braun Racing Toyota.
And Mike was just right there on the fence as far as our go or go home cars. He was 8th quickest at a 39.46. So he's going to need to pick it up from that. Need to pick it up probably a couple of tenths at least. Looks in pretty good shape because that green line still represents Michael McDowell in that 55 car at a 39.28.
Well, the one thing about Mike Bliss, and we've seen it in all 3 series, when it comes to qualifying, Mike is probably one of the best of finding that little extra out of each car or truck, no matter what it is when it comes to qualifying. He's a good qualifier.
Looks like he got through 3 and 4 pretty decent there. Let's see if it's going to be good enough to get him in. And it will not actually lock him in. He ran a 39.31, but that will send J.J. Yaley to the house in that 46 car.
Yeah, it does bump Yaley out, and he is not locked in. So his fate will be in the hands of Travis Quapple, the final driver to qualify.
He doesn't lock himself in. All he does is put himself on the hot seat.
That's right.
But one more driver to go.
What it did do is put Michael McDowell in that 55 car in the show. They'll have a little work to do on the right rear quarter panel, but they will race.
But they'll take it.
Yes, they will.
So final driver out is Travis Quapple. Has been in every race this year with the exception of New Hampshire. Failed to qualify.
He has to beat a 39.315, which is what Mike Bliss in that 32 car just ran. You know, I see a lot of surprises in this qualifying session as this is the last car to go, but probably the biggest surprise is not necessarily what's at the front of the field, but what's going to be at the back of the field. Denny Hamlin in the 11 car won this race in June. Right now he's 32nd, and Jeff Gordon is 35th, along with Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's 37th. And right now, Richard Childress Racing, they have all 3 of their cars in the top 11.
Casey Kane looks to score his 18th pole position.
Oh, yeah.
Travis Quapple, he does himself a good lap there, 39.05. That will lock him in, and that will send Mike Bliss, along with J.J. Yaley, Scott Riggs, and Casey Mears to the house.
Travis Quapple, 32nd overall. A good clutch effort by Quapple and his race team. Front Row Motorsports. Second pole of 2010 for Casey Kane. He also took the pole position at the Infineon Raceway out in Sonoma.
You know, Travis Quapple got Toyota their very first win ever in NASCAR right here at Michigan back in 2004 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
Well, you had something to do with that, didn't you?
I was already had exited stage left.
Oh, okay.
So Casey Kane, it's KK and JJ on the front row. Jimmy Johnson trying to win at Michigan for the first time. One of 4 tracks in the Sprint Cup Series where he has failed to win. Well, Saturday, that's tomorrow, August 14th. Join us at Darlington Raceway when the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series returns to the track Too Tough to Tame. Purchase a specially priced Speed Open Garage ticket package and go inside the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series garage. Visit speed.com, keyword promo to purchase your package today. Casey Kane has 11 career NASCAR Sprint Cup Series wins. 5 of them have come from the pole position, including one here at Michigan in June of 2006. Third pole for Richard Petty Motorsports in 2010. Bob Dillner standing by with Casey Kane.
Well, Steve, surprisingly, this is Casey Kane's first pole on an oval track this year. His other pole came at Sonoma on the road course, but everybody was talking about how intricate the turn 3 and 4 turn was. How did you get around there?
It was tough. I got through 1 and 2 really good, and I knew we were, awesome getting into 3. I got there and I had 3 lanes to choose from, 3 or 4, whatever you want to say this place has, and I chose one. It didn't really work, but it still ended up on the pole. So I don't know. I was kind of tight into 3, and then I was a little bit free off, but it's because I hit the throttle soon and just tried to get back to the line. But it was nice for our whole Budweiser team. The guys did a great job. Gave me an awesome car right there, and to do it here with Ford around. There's a lot of people from Ford here. It always feels good.
Hey, Steve Burns came up with a good nugget, and 5 times in your career you have won from the pole. You've done it from the pole here at Michigan before. How do you think Sunday's going to play out for you?
Well, it's this place is a little different now with the double file restarts than when I did it in 06, but that first pit stall is really big. Just where the lines are here, for some reason it always benefits you to be on the pole here. Get you out of the pit, you gain a lot of spots on pit road all day, or stay equal if you're running up front. So it's a good place to qualify first for some reason, and hopefully we can take advantage of that on Sunday.
Yeah, I want to know, on NASCAR Live, we talked to you after the practice session. You were just so-so. What was the big change?
The big change was we got it turned just a little bit better. It was decent in practice. I was actually pretty happy with race practice. Our second qualifying run, I couldn't turn in 3, but got through 1 and 2 pretty good, and then we made that just a little bit better. So I knew we had a good shot going into it. We had a great draw. There's a lot of good things going on for our whole Bud team, and we took advantage and got the pole.
Tomorrow he has 2 cup practices here at Michigan, and then he'll fly off to Knoxville, Iowa for the Knoxville Nationals, a sprint car race there.
All right, thanks a lot. Let's take a look at the starting grid for the Carfax 400.
Tell you honestly, one of the most impressive runs. Casey Kane talked about the draw. Juan Pablo Montoya went out earlier than almost any of these guys, so pretty impressed with that lap he laid down.
Biffle went out early as well.
Yeah,
Biffle did also.
At row 3, yep.
I'm looking right now at Clint Boyer up there in row 2, and I think he got himself a little bit of advantage over some of these guys he's trying to, run down in that 12th position.
And you mentioned, Larry, how about young Landon Castle?
By far the fastest of the go-or-go homers. He's going to start there inside of row 8 alongside A.J. Allmendinger.
Kyle Busch deep in the field as well, row 9. Jamie McMurray and Regan Smith, that's the trackside line.
See it. Carl Edwards, he's got his work cut out for him.
Joey Logano start deep in the field, and Bill Elliott back on row 15 in that 21 Wood Brothers car.
Good job by Carpentier in the 26 car getting in, along with the homeboy Brad Keselowski, a Michigan native.
Here's a couple of guys we were talking about near the end of qualifying. Jeff Gordon and his teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr. back on row 18 and row 19. And the man that won the race in June just in front of them on row 17.
How many weeks ago was that? 9 weeks? 9 weeks
7
ago?
races ago.
Take a look at some of the highlights As we said, Greg Biffle went out early in his Roush Fenway Ford after getting a little inspiration from Jack Roush, who survived a plane crash and returned to the track just 27 days later. Great to see Jack Roush back, and Greg Biffle said it provided good inspiration.
Yeah, he went out 7th, and early on, I mean, Greg put down a pretty impressive lap. And so does his teammate right here. Matt Kenseth had a little bit better draw, but he was able to qualify 7th, and I think, again, he's trying to hang in that top 12 as far as the point chase is concerned, and a qualifying run like this will definitely help.
And Matt has a 175-point cushion. We talked about Landon Castle in this 09 car, goes out there, qualified for his first Sprint Cup Series race here back in June, and lays down a heck of a lap, 15th quickest for this 09.
This guy right here, Steve, has got to be a little bit on the disappointed side. Jeff Burton, fast as far as the final practice was concerned. Car never looked like it took a sit down in 1 and 2, and he wound up being 11th quickest.
And he had a good draw, went out 33rd.
Yes, he did. He had the best draw of just about of anybody.
Denny Hamlin, as we've documented and chronicled, won here 8-9 weeks ago, but he's going to have to start from deep in the field.
Yeah, just the Joe Gibbs cars, they just don't have that speed right now. Kyle Busch is the quickest at 18th.
Well, what about this guy here?
5 poles at Michigan.
Can you get over this? I mean, look here, that car did a D-do in the middle of 1 and 2, and that just pretty much ruined his entire lap. Puts him way back in the field, starting 36th. I mean, Steve Letarte and this whole DuPont crew, they got to work some magic, a little strategy if they want to get up toward the front and have a chance on Sunday.
Yeah, he'll have his work cut out for him. You know, looks like he's pretty safely going to be in the chase, but needs to get those bonus points for a win. 0 wins here in 2010. You know, Steve, one other thing we need to mention, 3 guys that got in this show late in that qualifying session. Travis Kvapil in the 38 car, Robbie Gordon in the 07 car, and Michael McDowell, who actually hit the wall coming off turn 4, his qualifying run in the 55 car. He'll qualify 39th.
And the 4 drivers not making the show, J.J. Yaley, Scott Riggs, Mike Bliss, and Casey Mears. Boy, we have a lot to talk about from Bristol next week, and it starts on Monday. Dave Despain on assignment.
How about NASCAR Hub with Steve Burns?
We're all over it.
We're all over it.
We're all over it.
Hosting an hour show every
new set,
night of the week, brand new set.
On
How much does
Wednesday,
that thing cost?
$1 million. But not really $1 million.
Not really $1 million.
The Camping World Truck Series on Wednesday, along with the Whelen Modified Series. That all starts at 4:30.
Then business really picks up.
Oh, my.
Boy, we're going to know exactly how Jerry Lewis feels come next Friday. We'll be doing our own little telethon.
Labor Day telethon.
And Steve Burns will be on the racing chef next Saturday morning.
I'm going to marinate some meat. Casey Kane on the pole. Let's go to John Roberts.